God, it's being recorded. I got to come up with something to say. What am I going to do? Help me, Rosemary. So on my small group spell break, let me do a quick commercial for that one again. So an hour before this session, I work with a small group. It's 6 people maximum. And there's only 3 people in the group right now. So me and 6 is the max. It's me and 3 right now. And I made it very, very, very reasonable as far as the investment, the price to be in the program. You can do it by a month or 3 months or 6 months. The price gets a little bit lower per session if you go longer. And it's really awesome. For that session, all that I do, like there's no talking, there's no prep, there's no teaching. I go on and say, who got something? And oh my freaking God, the session today. And I mean, for real. This one was really, really personal for the person that I was working with. So I'm going to ask her if she would be okay. The person that I did the actual spell break with today was the whole session. I'm going to ask her if she would be okay with me removing her name, blurring her face, and maybe making this one public, because oh, damn, it was amazing. And yeah, that might be for 1 or 2 of you. You might want to join that program. It'd be very worth it for you. And I really have a strong feeling that what we talked about on that session is what we're here to talk about today. And I'm not going to give it a name yet. I already know what the name of the session will be if that happens. I'm just going to check in with what you're here for today, what you're looking for, what you're wanting. And I will ask a couple questions. I do feel slightly inspired. So let me do that and then we'll see where this goes. Would you like to be more happy and free in your own life starting now? If you don't say yes to that, like we're wasting our time here, right? You should be off masturbating with sandpaper or something, because if you don't want to be happier, having more fun and loving, like, okay. But this leads to the second question. Would you like to be more completely filling your space and contributing actively and proactively to the world you want to live in? All right. Are you still kind of playing small, not really stepping up the way you know you could be, maybe sitting silent when you really have something to say, that's we're saying, and doubting yourself? Okay. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that then today at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the session dictate how it unfolds, because there's only one driving the session, right? There's only one. And it's the same one disguised as Heather and Linda. It's the one completely disguised as Mary and John. To the people around her, it looks like Kim, and she looks like she's different than they are. So that one is driving the session. And isn't it a wonderful thing to know that God knows what you have need of and desire for before you ever express it? What a comforting, the infinite one that is knows everything I want and need before I ever express it. In fact, the infinite one that is actually knows what I actually want before I ask it, even when the confused me is thinking I want something different. Nathan and Suki and Adion, would you be curious and open to the possibility that something could change for you today on this session? Yeah? No kidding? Awesome. Me too. All right. So I'm going to be watching for some hands that I don't always see. If you're one of the few that always raises your hand, I might bypass you. Don't take offense. Or a gate. Right, Sugi? Don't take offense. Don't take a gate. Just breathe and be fine. Anybody want any help with anything today? See who let's see, I'm gonna do something different. Who all wants some help today? No, I'm not ignoring you, V and Esther, not at all. Who all wants some help today? Okay, why the fuck didn't you raise your hand when I asked who wants help today? Think about it before you take offense or before you, no, think about what I'm saying. All of you that when I said, okay, who wants help? A couple people raise their hand. And then I say, who all wants help? Well, if those hands are up now, I'll put my hand up. Isn't that part of how you've been playing? I'm not going to raise my hand unless someone else does. It's probably not appropriate to raise my hand unless someone else does. I'm going to make sure that it's appropriate because if enough people raise their hand, then I'll raise my hand. Isn't that how you've been doing that shit since grade school, haven't you? So who all, let me see again. Who all would like some help today? Okay, Sassy, Linda, V, Rex, Kim, Jen, Groovy. I'm not going to help anybody today. I was just checking to see who wants help. All right, so let me get back to what I was talking about. So, Jen, what you got? All right, it's not letting me. There we go.
All right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you did. I'm pretty good about not playing it small and not coming into my power. And like you said, staying kind of in the shadows. And I just need to find, I guess, my inner power to be seen.
Okay. So you just said much, and I have a very weird feeling. I'm with you, and I'm going to let Peter say what he wants to say, and it's going to factor into this, and then I'm working with you. So just breathe okay. And know that we're already there. So what you got there, Peter?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Well, I just wanted to say...
Your volume is low, just so you know, though. For some reason, your volume is low, so you want to be close to your mic.
Okay.
Or just yell, it's fine.
Yeah. Is this loud enough?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. For the last year, I've been in a, like a roller coaster. What's like about my work and job and things. And a long time I've been thinking that things weren't perfect. And now today I signed a contract of a new with a new employer. People I talked 3 times before they wanted to hire me or suggest me to get a job with them, and I felt 3 times very welcome by them, and I felt really safe and at home, and like there potential for friendships, you know, and that made me think that what anything I came across last year, during the last year, everything that I thought that was not perfect in my life now turns out to be just the way it had to be to come to this point. And I think that is what level 5 is to me. How is this perfect for me? Anything, no matter what happens, how is this perfect for me? And that's what I learned the last year, and I'm very happy today to recognize that, and I just wanted to say thank you, and level 5 works.
Beautiful, man. You're welcome. And
Thank
thank you, Peter. Appreciate that, buddy. All right. So Jen, you can already see how what he just said can land in what you're talking about. And I'm going to say that the session that I did right before this one, I was working with someone that I've been working with now for, I work with a lot of people, and I've always said dates are not my best thing. Like, I still don't remember my birthday or how old I am or any of that stuff. Please don't ask me for help with math, right, Suki? But I'm damn good at what I'm damn good at. And this person that I worked with, that I did the session right before this one, is someone that's been working with me for more than a few months, maybe a year or so. I don't know how long this person has been with me. It's been a while. And she came out of a really dark place, playing incredibly small to be safe. And I've watched her have some monumental shifts and awakenings and openings and radical physical healing stuff go on. So much stuff. And there was still more. And it is so easy. What Peter just said. Peter's been with me for a little while now. And I've watched this guy have some of the most amazing shifts. But this girl I'm talking about that I was working with and Peter are still the whole fucking universe. There's still plenty of stuff to address and move through. Ain't nobody gonna do a damn session and sprout wings out of their back and fly off into the glitter rainbow. Not yet. Maybe someday, but not yet. If they do, trust me, I'm getting a testimonial video of them flying away. Like, that shit's going to be all my marketing from then on, will just be that video. But until then, there's going to be more. So in a way, I will involve and bring up now another person who actually fairly recently started doing 12, like this ultimate offering that I have. She signed up for the 12 one-on-one sessions with me over the course of 12 weeks and some other bells and whistles that come with it. This girl was living in fucking hell, man. And she's been working on herself for a long time. And she said at the beginning something that I used to hear every day. Now I hear it about once a week. Oh, I do the same thing you do, Brian. At this point, when I hear those words, I just go, you must mean wake up in the morning and go to sleep at night. And this girl was in hell. My God, she was in hell. And yesterday, on our session, I would say she returned to sanity. And I said to her along the way, I said, most people, they kind of want to be just totally free, living, flying with their angel wings into the sparkling glitter rainbow. That's what they envision. But you got to get your head out of your ass first. People come to me saying, Brian, can you please help me? I can tell you're the real deal. Can you please help me learn how to levitate? And I say, let's get where you know how to fucking digest your food and get along with your family. Could we make your life work before you start trying to fucking levitate? So there's an idea that I have. I call it baseline functionality. And let's be honest, all of us spiritual fucks that think we want to be sitting on a cloud, being the God of our universe in infinite, unlimited freedom. First, we just want to make our lives work. Baseline functionality, where I can get through the day without feeling like I'm going to fucking lose it completely or without losing it completely. and where I can navigate what comes up during the day with a fair amount of grace. Right? I mean, hello, all you motherfuckers. Y'all come on this session like, I've got my beads on and I just did yoga and all is well. And you're freaking out inside and hiding it. I know who you are. I'm not criticizing you because I was there. I was worse. I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm just saying, you think I don't know how bad you lose your shit? I knew Mary was going to smile first. I knew Mary was going to smile. I was looking right at Mary. Mary goes, I bet you don't know how much I lose. Yes, I do, because I used to lose it worse. My kids will tell you. I used to lose it worse. I'm neither proud of it nor ashamed of it. How about that? I decided to address it. And you're here, Jen, so you're ready to address it. And those of us that are convinced that we're spiritual, we have our yoga personality in social media, because we're told that we're not supposed to be what we are. We're supposed to look like what we think we're supposed to be. We have it the hardest because we know we're a fucking fraud. I'm not talking about you personally, Jen. I'm talking about all of us. Okay, so playing it small, hiding out, not speaking my full truth, need to find my inner power. What if I told you that I need to find my inner power is the most brilliant, amazing lie you ever manufactured in order to prevent yourself from admitting that your infinite power is blaring and glaring and shining in full view at all times? Wouldn't you just love me and be pissed off at me if I was to allude to that truth? Okay, and that's what I'm saying. You don't need to find it. And you don't need to dissolve the blocks to it. Just choose to move yourself to the place of awareness where it's true. So check this out. There's only love here. There's no opposite of love. I'm sorry, all those people that invented hate, the word, in order to say that there's an opposite love. No, there's not. There's no opposite love. And so all that's here is love. The universe is unconditional love, manifesting as a universe to give the illusion of not love. And so the way to return to infinite love is not to fix the not love. I'm sorry to all those spiritual fucks who say love wins, as if hate had to lose. Love's not in a battle to win. So the way home is to forgive the illusion, but that doesn't mean, illusion, you are wrong and bad, but I'm going to forgive you and I'll hold it against you in case you ever do it again. Then I'll pull it back out and hold it against you. That is not forgiven. Forgiven is returning to the me before I gave any of this shit in the first place. To heal a sickness isn't to fix a sickness, it's to return to the awareness of wholeness. Now, imagine this. Imagine, look at little Audion right there. Look at this cute guy. To me, he's cute. Look at this guy. Now, imagine that he lied to me about something. Just imagine. And I say, you little piece of shit for lying to your father. Don't you see how good I am to you? Or how about this one? That's not a level 5 way to be, you little fucking loser. You lied to me. Boy, he's going to feel safe and loved, isn't he? But I forgive you, son. I forgive you for being a piece of shit liar. Hey, guys, get focused. Whatever you're doing, stop doing it and get focused. Something going on with the dog there. If that's the case, the dog can go in the other room. If he lied to me and I forgive him by pointing out how wrong he was and what he did was bad, and that's not forgiveness. That's putting it on a shelf for future reference. Forgiveness is, you know what? I understand why you did that. If I felt what you were feeling, I would have done the same thing. It doesn't build trust for you and me. Is that how you really want it to be? Let's start over. It's returning to love. Forgiveness is returning to love, which is what I am before I give this illusion. Well, returning to your infinite power doesn't mean you find it. Because here's the crazy thing. This is one of the slipperiest concepts in the entire world. This is where virtually all spiritual seeking is actually the biggest lie and the biggest prison. And almost everybody's involved in it. Almost every teacher's involved in it. This idea behind it all of seeking enlightenment. When you're seeking enlightenment, consciously or not, you are intending that enlightenment is hidden. In seeking is buried and disguised a secret intention. I'm holding the intention. Enlightenment is hidden from me. Probably hard to find. So I'm a seeker. So why not admit that you're infinitely powerful? Why not speak from your infinite truth? Who would get offended? Who would get upset? Who would get mad? Who would reject you? Who would you lose? Who would hurt you, punish you, reject you, abandon you? So close your eyes. I'm afraid, and all you're going to do if you're willing is just finish the sentence as quickly as you can. Don't worry about getting the right answer. I am afraid to speak my truth because
I will be rejected.
And I'm afraid that if I'm rejected,
I'm not loved.
and I'm afraid that if I'm not loved,
I'm alone.
and if I'm alone,
I only have myself.
and if I only have myself,
I'm not powerful enough.
and if I'm not powerful enough to make it,
I've failed.
and if I fail,
I'm nobody.
and if I'm nobody,
I'm invisible.
oh, and if I'm invisible,
I might as well not be here.
that's right, I'm gonna die. So feel that and breathe. Straighten your spine, straighten your neck, breathe from your belly, and breathe all the way down under that. Now, just breathing and being curious, right? I'm gonna get into some, I'm with you now. I want you to stay with you too. I'm just gonna speak, and my words are not gonna distract you from what you're feeling. There's this old school self-help thing, and one of the things that everyone first finds out in self-help, it's one of those strange facts. The number one thing that the vast majority of people are afraid of is public speaking. And if you do a poll of millions and millions of people, you'll find more people are afraid of public speaking than they are of dying. Which means, like, we've all heard that, right? We've all seen it's crazy. Oh my God, look at this, fascinating. Keep breathing, stay inside, feeling those feelings. How fascinating of a fact is that? More people. That's fascinating. Now let me get on back to eating my fucking GMO Cheetos here. Not think about that anymore. But if we actually look at it for a minute, what that means is people are afraid that if they were going to public speak, they would die. But what is public speaking? It means standing up in front of people and speaking, expressing yourself in front of people. But wait a minute. When and where in our lives have we ever spoken up and talked in front of people? Oh, every fucking day since we were able to talk? Yeah, but it's different. It's on stage. Oh, really? So if you're 3 feet higher, suddenly it's like the virus only gets you if you're in a protest that the government doesn't like, right? It's that same principle. It's above 3 feet standing that the fear speaking kicks in. I say not, because if you were to do a poll, what if you could public speak 3 feet lower? Everybody still be scared to death. It's not the height, is it? I'm being silly, but I'm not. So it's actually a fear of speaking in front of people. Well, now where in the world could we have ever learned that it's not safe to speak in front of people? I mean, are people born with that fear? I think not. I think not. Then we had to develop it. Where did we develop it? When we spoke one time and somebody either laughed at us or slapped us in the face or scolded us or punished us or sent us to our room. And we said, oh, fuck that. I'm never going to speak up again. And this takes me back to the orientation session. Not okay to be, not okay to be me, not okay to want what I want, not okay to express what I want, and damn sure not okay to get what I want. So I'm afraid that if I were to speak my truth, I would be invisible. So instead, I'm just going to see if I can make myself invisible. So I don't have to deal with the pain of being invisible for speaking. That's some wacky shit now.
Yes.
That's some wacky shit. I'm going to stay invisible so I don't have to deal with the pain of being invisible because of it. If I'm invisible, if I can make myself invisible without having them reject me and make me want to be invisible, then I would prefer that. But I thought you didn't want to be invisible. Which one is it? So you know you're deluding yourself. That's great news. The minute you find out, oh my God, I was deluding myself, you're in the place where you could actually find out how you were deluding yourself and stop. So close your eyes again and feel. If you were fearless, if you were totally ready, where would you go and what would you say? To whom first? Where could you contribute the most? You could go to the nearby church and save all the Christians. Just stand up and say, you're full of shit.
Right. Well, I'm a singer in a band, and I don't know, I'm not like the typical front person. Like I don't know. And I know this stems back from being a child and having an ego, and I've tried not to be that front person that's full of themselves, and I know it stems because of that. Thank you.
Okay. Who taught you first that it's not okay to be full of yourself?
My dad.
Okay. That fucker's full of himself teaching you some shit like that. All right, so what's one example of a scene in which he taught you that it's not okay for one to be full of themselves?
I remember my grandma would buy me really cool outfits. I live in Iowa, and she'd buy me really cool outfits in California. She'd bring them back, and I would be excited to wear them to school, and he'd be like, oh, you're going to draw attention to yourself. You don't, and it would just, I'd be so excited. And it would just knock me down.
Pick one of those moments. Did it knock you down with a 2x4, or was it like a wrecking ball swinging from the left, or what exactly? Did it trip you at the ankles, or how exactly did it knock you down? No, don't answer that question. Just realize that it didn't knock you down. That's bullshit.
Right.
And you can love the little one who felt like she was knocked down. You can say, now what you just told me is fucking bullshit. However, your feelings still really matter to me. So could we focus on the feelings instead of that crazy bullshit about being knocked down? Okay, so tell me one time when that happened that just comes up when you think about
it. It was when I had an outfit that I was wearing to school, and he made me feel like I should be embarrassed.
All right, so was this before school or after school?
It was before school.
Before school. So you're wearing this thing, you're excited to wear it, and he didn't. And how old are you?
Probably around 10.
All right, so close your eyes and be 10, and you're wearing it. What color is the outfit?
Green, bright green.
All right, so feel that bright green and feel excited to wear it. All right. And we'll just be there and breathe this time, because you didn't breathe that time. Breathe this time. What does he say to you?
You're drawing too much attention to yourself. You need to go change.
Okay. So feel what you feel when he says that to you. Feel everything you feel, and all the times you felt it before, and all the times you felt it afterwards. And breathe down into it. Breathe down into it. And if you will, just follow along after I say it. I retrieve all of my energies.
I retrieve all of my energies.
Bound up in this scene.
Bound up in this scene.
Where my dad tells me to change because I'm drawing too much attention to myself.
Where my dad tells me to change because I'm drawing too much attention to myself.
And I take all those energies back.
And I take all of those energies back.
To the perfect place in my true self.
To the perfect place in my true self.
Now feel that you just did that. You just retrieved all the energies that were there and all the breaths that you didn't take. There you were, breathing in joy and breathing excitement and breathing the fun. A new outfit. Something fun to wear that you would enjoy. And that perception that he took the wind out of your sails or the breath out of your lungs, that perception that he knocked you over. And the perception that he made you feel like you were wrong and bad. And you just took all those energies back to the perfect place in your true self now. And you're breathing into that little girl. So her vision will clear. Now being really curious. I wonder who told him not to wear those cowboy boots to school one day when everybody else was wearing tennis shoes. Wonder who told him, could you tone down that talent you have so you don't offend somebody else? Wonder how far up the ancestral tree, from dad's dad to his dad to his dad to his dad to her mom to their, I wonder how many people's energies were involved in cascading down through the family line, which of course you invented out of nothing. None of it exists. There's nothing that was ever here before you. But what a fun experience to have this illusion of being knocked over by the parent that you love and who provides so much. So you could feel totally confused and conflicted for all these years until this very moment. How many non-you energies, how many other people's opinions and perspectives and fear and pressure and correction, okay, so eyes closed, breathing deep. I remove all non-me energies.
I remove all non-me energies
Related to this scene.
Related to this scene.
Where my dad tells me to change.
Where my dad tells me to change.
Because I'm drawing too much attention to myself.
Because I'm drawing too much attention to myself.
And I remove those energies from all my cells.
And I remove all those energies from my cells.
And from all of my bodies.
And from all of my bodies.
And from my ancestry.
And from my ancestry.
And from my personal space.
And from my personal space.
And I send it joyfully back.
And I send it joyfully back.
To its origins in infinite possibilities.
To its origins in infinite possibilities.
Keep breathing now. Breathe under it so that it has a nice wind to carry it off into infinite possibilities. Just be curious about the possibility that things might be changing, altering, modifying much more the way you prefer, and maybe it's okay. Maybe you're safe with it. There's an interesting thing here. My dad wanted me to change, perhaps more than an outfit. He wanted me to change so I didn't draw attention to myself. And I thought he was trying to control me, but maybe he thought he was trying to protect me. Maybe his motivation and intention was totally different than I ever knew. Maybe he was conflicted. Maybe part of him thought, I don't want nobody to try to get in my little girl's panties. So I don't want her to look like too much of a girl or a woman too much. I don't want her to be drawing too much attention to herself. Maybe he also learned that when you get too much attention drawn to yourself, it derails your character. Maybe he had some moral beliefs around that. Maybe he learned when he was little that getting too much attention leads to you getting in trouble or ridicule or some kind of pain, and he was trying to protect you from hurting. Maybe your dad had motivations and intentions that were hidden from you, and maybe he had intentions and motivations that were hidden from him. Maybe he had no idea why he was doing it. Maybe he was being stirred by something else, and maybe he had reasons that he didn't quite feel able to explain to you. So maybe it wasn't nothing like what you thought it was. Maybe you reach some conclusions about what that said about that he did that. Maybe you reach some conclusions about what it means to be Jen. Maybe you reach some conclusions about what it means to get attention or be full of yourself. I mean, how the fuck you could be full of somebody else? I mean, if you're going to be full of somebody, let it be you, for God's sake. Right.
Right.
Dad, I am not sure that being full of myself is a bad thing. Did you want to like fuck the football team and be full of them? I don't. What you might have been confused, Dad. Maybe I was confused about what your intention was. Maybe I reached conclusions and decisions that were not necessarily accurate. Maybe I've been living out those conclusions that I reached without ever actually contemplating them to see if they have any validity or sanity or anything else. I just was reacting from because I didn't want to be too full of myself. I didn't want to be that person. Who the fuck is that person? You know, that person is a lot like society. I want to be seen well by society. I got news, baby. Society don't exist. It's made up. It's just people, and they don't exist. So who the fuck is that person? I don't know. Somebody made up a straw man called that person so that I wouldn't want to be it. Damn. So then I go through the rest of my life reacting not only to the moment that I'm still frozen in at 10, I'm still frozen in that moment, still haven't breathed and exhaled because I don't want to be full of myself. And air is myself, among other things. So I'm sitting there not breathing for the last couple decades. And I make decisions that sound very noble, like, well, I don't want to be the typical front person of a band. I mean, that shit almost sounded like it made sense. I bet a lot of people you say that to, they'd be like, yeah, I know what I'm just like, what the fuck is she talking about? Because it don't make sense to me, but be glad it doesn't, because it didn't make sense to you or anyone else either. And that's okay. All of the conclusions that we reach that are crazy as fuck cause us and lead us to do all kind of crazy fucking shit and say all kind of crazy fucking shit, and we act fucking crazy and we don't even know we're crazy, and the people around us are so crazy that they go, no, I think you're doing fine, I'm the one crazy, but I'm going to try to tone it down so you don't see how crazy I am. And I'm so glad that you're not one of those typical front people getting all the attention, because we want all the fucking attention. But we're not going to say that shit because you just keep on fading back so we can get all the attention. See, I say all the shit you ain't supposed to say. Some of y'all are smiling really big right now. Oh my God, this is for me. So, you know, you live your life reacting and reacting and reacting and reacting and never any idea that you're reacting to that thing, and no idea, and hiding it well from yourself. You even got to pretend that you're not your infinite power. Don't want to upset Dad. Is he still in his body?
Yes.
Okay. So here's what we got so far. Along the course of your family lineage, a bunch of crazy motherfuckers came to the conclusion that it's not okay to be what you are and be seen and heard and express yourself. The H virus, humbleness. It's noble to be humble. You should just be quiet, sit back. Don't make too much noise. In order to touch every angle and every side of this, I will share a very long personal story in its very short form. My dad, 6'4", freckle-faced, redheaded kid who got real tall real fast. His dad was extremely abusive to him, physically, mentally, emotionally, extremely abusive to him. And so my dad was suffering like hell anyway. And then all of a sudden, as happens to some kids, he just starts stretching out, okay? Next thing you know, he's over 6 feet tall as a teenager, lanky, awkward, probably heard the phrase redheaded stepchild. And even though he wasn't a stepchild, you know, like what the fuck, who the fuck came up with that? And people have conclusions that it actually means some derogatory thing, which it is, yeah, none of that. But most people don't explain these things to kids. And so he learned that life is suffering and hell, and you get ridiculed and made fun at. And if you're tall and you stick out in any way, you suffer more. So my dad literally not only taught me implicitly, but explicitly, he said to me, man, life is tough out there. What a thing to tell your kid. Life's tough out there, man. I'm like, motherfucker, you ought to see living in the house with you, and you're telling me life is hell out there? God damn. I mean, it's going to get worse than living with you. But anyway, he taught me life is tough. You get embarrassed and ridiculed and shamed if you stand out at all. So what you want to do is get down low, just duck a little bit below the crowd, find a crowd, back up into the middle of it, and just kind of hide and talk softly so you don't stand out and get your ass kicked, get in trouble, get noticed, become a target. So in a way, my dad had reason to say, don't wear that because you might stand out and draw too much attention. Too much attention. What did you have, Dad? Do you have a scale? I'd like to, if I could just carry a scale, it's like an attention meter. And I know right when it gets to this point, it's too much attention, then I could back off. The fucking too much attention. These insane things that our parents tell us that made sense to them, but not really. So then we react to it for the rest of our lives. And we're reacting to so many things from so many angles, and we have no idea of any of them. It affects the way you breathe on stage. It affects how you sing. It affects how you're perceived. Very conflicting, very much standing out while very much not. Very confusing, very incoherent, incongruent, confusing, and potentially on the way to killing you with some kind of weird fucking disease, other than the fact that we're undoing it today. So you can be curious about what are some of the things, you know, the crazy shit you've been doing in your daily life. How much of that has been unconscious reactions to this scene when my dad tells me to change because I'm taking too much attention to myself? So let's just breathe, close your eyes, go inside. There you are. Your dad's saying, you go change right now. And the little girl said, do you not want me to be Jen when I come back? What do change what? And I'm joking, but I'm not. I am so not joking. You want me to change and not be someone who draws attention to herself? There was some genuine confusion there. And he was not sensitive to how that might have been misperceived by you. Whew. And you were reacting to that too, ever since. Dad doesn't like me the way I am. He wants me to change. And so part of your life has been an endless series of trying to be what you thought other people wanted you to be and resenting them for it. It's like I've been following you around with a webcam, with a camera, ain't it? It's like, damn. And see, all of that can actually change today, and you'll be safe and fine even if it changes. So I retrieve all of my energies.
I retrieve all of my energies.
Bound up in all my reactions.
Bound up in all of my reactions.
Seen and unseen.
Seen and unseen.
To this scene where my dad
To the scene where my dad
tells me to change because I'm drawing too much attention to myself.
tells me to change because I'm drawing too much attention to myself.
And I take all those energies back.
And I take all of those energies back.
From all those reactions.
From all of those reactions.
And all of the frozen worlds that spun off from those reactions.
And all the frozen worlds that have spun off from those reactions.
And I take all those energies back.
And I take all of those energies back.
To the perfect place in my true self.
To the perfect place in my true self.
Just keep breathing. Singing from a different place now, bitches. Oh, man. I will wear LED illuminated flashing glitter fucking clothes if I want to, bitches. Y'all that don't like it, go somewhere else. Those of you that don't feel how this is relevant for you, I encourage you to breathe deeper and be just a smidgen more curious about how it might be. So just say, if you will, I now attune all of my systems.
I now attune all of my systems.
To this new awareness.
To this new awareness.
And just silently or out loud, whatever you feel, I want to encourage you to make it explicit in this moment to your dad that you understand now that he might not have meant what you thought he meant. You might have reached conclusions about what he meant and what he was really saying and why he was saying it and what the implications of all that was. You might have reached a lot of conclusions that were totally erroneous, understandable for a 10-year-old girl, as well as when you were 7, as well as when you were 12, as well as you might have reached some conclusions. You might have held that against some lovers along the way that you thought they were trying to tone you. In fact, you had lovers that tried to tone you down from getting too much attention, and you thought, oh my God, you asshole. But actually, all they were doing was showing up, reading your kick me sign to help you to feel the feelings, and so you can forgive all of them too. Might as well let the whole thing just dissolve while you're at it. I mean, a lifetime of evidence showing you that it's not okay to be you, not okay to be at full power. Your boobies are too big, your voice is too loud, your ego's too proud, your goddamn tastes are too flamboyant, you're blah, 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 blah. And all of it was just voices echoing to let you feel what you were already feeling. None of it was ever true. Too much this, too much that. You know, the flip side is not enough this, not enough that. not enough this, not enough, not enough, not enough, not enough. Too much and not enough. They're the exact same thing. Just different versions of insanity in our parents. So why is it true today that beyond proud or humble, I am? Why is it true that beyond too much and not enough, I am? And I acknowledge that all that stuff was the lunacy that I set in motion when I decided to believe that I was separate. All those reflections came into being the minute I said, hey, what would it be like to be separate from the one that I actually am? And why is it okay for me to sing the way I want to sing? And why is it okay for me to wear what I want to wear? And why is it okay for me to dance if I fucking want to? And why is it okay for me to speak loudly enough that they can fucking hear me? Why is it okay for me to say what I really want to say? Now I got a really weird question, y'all. Everybody who raised your hand. Everybody who raised your hand. You ready? You remember who you are, right? Because I'll go back to the replay and find you. Everyone who raised your hand. Are you glad that I picked Jen's hand? Some of you that raise your hand, you're like, no. Why did she get all the fucking attention? That was a joke. You'll get it in a minute. How you feeling, Jen?
So much lighter. Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. So just keep breathing, because that ain't done. You're gonna want to drink. You're gonna want to drink lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of water. You're gonna want to just keep breathing deep, because this is not done. It's just gonna. I don't know if it'll make that sound, but that was my
That'd be cool.
All right. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
All right. I got a feeling about something. Christy. She's got a conversation to handle there. All good?
Yeah, I've got to go take my daughter to work in just a second. So she was letting me know she's ready.
Okay. If you got like 30 seconds, I just want to say, I was watching you respond and react to that whole thing. So what's up for you? If there's anything, you didn't say I want to say anything, but I'm just inviting you to see if you want to say anything about that.
No, I mean, there's not really anything up. I just feel like really amazing, and I'm kind of in a weird space I'm not used to right now. So, yeah.
Awesome. That's all good. It's
yeah.
all good. Okay. I wasn't trying to put you on the spot because I don't believe in spots. All right. See you soon. Love you, girl.
Yeah. Okay, love you.
All right, V. What you got?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
So I'm
Go slow, go slow, go slow, go slow. I already feel something here. So I'm gonna encourage you. Really go slow this time. Really go slow this time. Take your time, whatever that phrase means, and really breathe. And this time, what if it's okay for you to express your simple truth? What if it's so clear in you that you literally don't have to say anything, you don't have to ask anything, And if you are going to say anything or ask anything, you're going to speak your truth like never before. So let your breath slow down and center. Feel what it's like to speak from there more than you have been. And I'm listening.
I feel fear and sadness. I'm concerned about a choice that I'm so my sister wants to know where I live, and I would like my sister and I and all of us to be close. And now my first reaction was, she hasn't earned my trust, and I don't know if I want her to know where I live. And I'm afraid to even say it. So it will bring up a lot of anger. Not me, but from her, which is
none of your fucking business, first of all.
right.
None of your fucking business. Okay, so breathe for a minute. Breathe into the parts where you haven't been breathing. And there is one thread inside of what you're speaking. Many threads. There's one specific one. And I want to make sure. So everybody be present and be curious. There's a virus present. And there's so many mental, emotional viruses. There's a virus present in one of the things that you said, V, that might or might not be the core of this. However, it blurs to where you can't possibly be accurate while you're having this virus involved. You can't be accurate. Okay. So Nathan, Sugi, Aryan, are they present, Dev? Okay. This is very relevant for them as well. Some people believe that respect can be earned. Now, I've known a couple people in my life who believe respect has to be earned. So far, without exception, those are some miserable motherfuckers. They're not able to be close to other people. And there's something very authoritarian about it. I'm not making you right or wrong, V. I'm talking about the idea of people earning respect.
I didn't say that. I said I want her to earn, she didn't earn my trust. I've risked my life for her so many times, and it's not been a good ending for me.
Okay, trust, earning trust. These are, you'll see in a moment, most likely, that this is interchangeable. So I'm great for the word. Okay. She hasn't earned. I'm going to put respect and trust with a slash between them, okay? Because my definition of respect is very, 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 very different. Extremely fundamentally different than the vast majority of people's definition of respect. You know the phrase, well, with respect to blah, 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 how do you, right? With respect to is not an admiration or a superiority, okay? Trust, similarly, let's just dismantle trust for a second here. You're curious and breathing, right? Let's just dismantle and deconstruct trust for me. Trust. You got ideas about what trust means. But what if you trusted your sister to be who she is? I mean, listen, Jen learned change meant things it didn't mean. Right? Didn't she? She learned change, and she learned too much attention was a possibility. And that shifts her whole definition of what attention is. And all these other things. we are right now in a deep place, that if our presence isn't taking us into the depth that I'm speaking, our mind is just going to make desperate attempts to try to reflect and comprehend some part of what I'm saying, for any of us. But trust, I mean, could you give, like, you know, a 30-second or less flawless, perfect definition of trust? That was universal and applied to everybody?
Safety has something to do with it.
Oh, well, so you don't trust a lion then? I trust a lion to be a lion. I trust that lion. I trust that lion to be a lion. And if that fucker gets a chance to eat me, I would expect, with respect, I would expect it to. Is a lion. I trust it to be a lion. I respect its lionness. What if you trusted your sister to be exactly as she is? So keep breathing deep, keep breathing deep, keep breathing deep, and be so curious. What if my definitions of respect and trust and relationship, what if my definitions around these things are actually hindering me from being effective with my sister? What if they're hindering me? I mean, you have felt unsafe with other people other than just your sister, right? Wouldn't you say that it could be true that she has earned your trust exactly as it is? Her behavior and her actions and inactions have, quote, earned that your trust be exactly the way it is. And it's also earned that your respect for her be exactly the way it is. In other words, you're being with respect to how she has been. Just be curious. When it's not clear, be glad. Because that shit you were clear about was fucking crazy. Just like everybody else. So what if it's okay to not tell her where you live? What if it's okay? Just, I'm not going to tell her. And what if you don't need to explain it? Well, that damn simplifies the whole thing. It doesn't handle all those emotions, but it kind of clarifies where you can just feel the emotion now without needing to tangle about what's the right choice to make. So with childhood development, and all of us are children, and all of us were younger children earlier in this life. If we don't get to go through all the phases safely, we carry the resistance in us of the phases that we didn't get to move through. They're fucking still sitting there, right? Like tectonic plates moving across the earth, and this one's moving this way, and this one's moving this way. They hit, and that pressure builds and builds and builds and builds. That pressure is never going to go away until they either start moving in a different direction or one of them pops. The phases of development you didn't get to go through are still sitting there waiting for you to be able to go through them. And so one of the phases that you haven't had a chance to fully go through is learning that it's okay for you to say no and have it be the way you want it. And that you ain't got to explain a damn thing to anybody. And it probably won't make any sense because, like everyone else, you have been batshit fucking crazy in the areas that you haven't moved through your emotions. Hello, anybody else? Anybody else batshit fucking crazy in the areas where you haven't moved through your emotions? So don't take it personally. Well, then you're not going to be logical. You probably aren't going to be rational in some areas, and you don't have to explain that shit to anybody. I'm going to make a wild guess here that she's probably not totally rational on every topic or totally solid and stable either. So what the fuck? I mean, imagine this. Imagine this. You're walking down the road and some completely crazy homeless person walks out, says, well, you can't get past me unless you tell me the password. Are you going to fucking stand there and argue with them all day? You walk the fuck around or cross the street. So do that with your sister. Now acknowledge, okay, I'm kind of avoiding her. I admit I am kind of avoiding her right now. And God damn it, that's what I want to do. So let's do an experiment here. Close your eyes. And if you want to, just play along with me. It'll probably be fun. And I want you to say, what's her name?
Trina.
Who?
Trina.
Trina? Okay, so Trina, I don't want to tell you where I live. I'm not going to, and you can't make me. Just say that shit like you mean.
Trina, I'm not going to tell you where I live. And you can't make me.
I don't want to, and you can't make me.
I don't want to, and you can't make me.
And if I ever tell you, it'll be when I'm damn good and ready.
And when I'm ready. What?
And if I ever do, it'll be when I'm damn good and ready.
And if I do, it will be when I'm damn good and ready.
And feel that. When you were little, you didn't get to say that to anybody. So everybody just see, this is the 1, 2, and 3-year-old V. You just saw the 10-year-old Jen. So here's the 1, 2, and 3-year-old V that never got to say, no, I don't want to. Leave me the hell alone. And if I do, it'll be when I'm damn good and ready. And when we have authoritarian parents who are dictators to us, and their reason for their no is because I said so. I'm the boss and you're not. When we have to deal with that shit, right, we choke like she's doing right now. Because we had to choke that shit down, because if we spoke back, they'd slap us in the fucking face. And we've been spending the rest of our life reacting to a slap in the face that happened when we were damn 5. Never gonna let that happen again. I will not speak my truth. So do it again, V. Just say, Trina,
Trina,
I'm not gonna tell you where I live.
I'm not going to tell you where I live.
I don't wanna.
I don't want to.
And you can't make me.
And you can't make me.
And if I ever do tell you,
And if I ever do tell you,
it'll be when I'm damn good and ready.
it'll be when I'm damn good and ready.
What a yummy feeling to be able to just say, fuck no. And I don't care if it makes sense or not. So keep breathing now. Breathe deeper and stabilize that. Trina, I don't have to explain a diggity doo-dah damn thing to you. And I'm not gonna. So you can think what you want to think. Now, what's kind of ironic and interesting is when you find out that you can say, no, I don't want to, sometimes you feel okay saying yes. It's so ironic. It's so ironic that sometimes, and it doesn't mean this will happen today, but I'm just going to, okay, so you see that little half of a girl right there, that like Suki, oh, there's the whole girl. Okay, there she is. That girl and I have been through some stuff. And one day me and Suki will write a book about her childhood. It'll be called How to Make Your Dad Suffer Like a Motherfucker. Okay? Suki was the, quote, strongest-willed kid in the world. And she would just not She would no, no, and no, Dad, no, and no, Dad. I'm not gonna flex. I'm not gonna change my mind, and you are not gonna overpower me and make me do it. What I don't want to do. So she just like had that, and I'm really glad because ain't nobody gonna make that girl a doormat. However, there is another thing, and that is sometimes she would say no to things that she wanted to say yes to because she was getting off on the power of the no. And, you know, quite frankly, in very simple terms, not talking against mom, but mom wasn't always as tolerant and listening to Suki's wants and needs. And so Suki really didn't get a chance to say all the no's there. So when she was with me, I would get all the no's. Hey, sweetheart, how about we have some dessert and then go to the beach? No. You think I'm joking? No, I'm talking about no to shit that you wouldn't believe. And 99 times out of 80, like she would, no, I'm not going to the beach. I don't want to go to the beach. I don't want to go to the beach. We get to the beach. She sits there for the first 15 minutes showing her disapproval. I'm not getting in the water. Fuck you. Turquoise water is ugly. The sand is warm. It's upsetting. And 5 or 10 minutes later, she was in the water. And 2 hours later, do we have to go home? Can we stay longer? This is great. I don't want to go home. See, now she just got off the camera there. We're like, yeah, okay. And this was day after day after day after day. And like finally one day when we weren't doing something and I didn't have a no, I said, honey, can we talk about this while we don't have one of those argument moments? Like, can we cut? And that has diminished hugely. And she and I have built this incredible relationship of respect and trust.
I want to tell part of my story.
that's,
I know.
that's so awesome. Okay, tell a little bit of it. As long as you, but see, here's the thing, V. Here's the thing, V. I've been working with you for a little while too, right? And you have displayed a really understandable and reasonable level of what some might call stubbornness at not always letting it in. And I'm not calling you a donkey. I'm using a metaphor like I always do. I don't push donkeys uphill. If I'm like wanting to walk up a hill and there's a donkey on the hill in front of me, I don't try to push it uphill when it's trying to walk down. I just walk around the donkey. Okay. So if you ain't going to let in what's here in front of you so that it can help, telling more of your story is not going to help. And it won't be the most beneficial use of my time, yours, or anybody else's if you're resisting what's really glowing in front of you right now. So breathe. You haven't had the chance most of your life to speak your truth. I'm not talking about your story. To speak your truth and have it be respected. You've said no more than once and it wasn't honored. And you found yourself in places that were dangerous for you. And right this minute, that's not happening. And if you don't choose presence, I'm not in the business of encouraging people, and I'm not in the business of making people feel better. I don't mollycoddle, whoever the hell came up with that one. So feel what it is that you want to change, and I would like to focus on that with you.
Well, definitely I feel sad and not so much afraid since the first half that I did take in. So I adopted my little sister when I was just 18. And a lot of bad things happened to her too.
So some things that you didn't prefer happened for you, and some things that she didn't prefer happened for her as well. Okay.
And so she's like a daughter and a sister. And I feel sad about what I perceive as guilt for not being able to embrace my boundaries with her.
Okay. Not being able to embrace what?
My boundaries with her.
Your boundaries. Okay. All right. So let's go right there. So breathe into that sad and feel where the sensations are in your body right now. All right. So go into the sensations and feel them. You were, in some ways, as a girl, forced at times to be like a mother to her when you didn't have one being a full mother to you. I want to slip this in while it's fresh in my mind. So just keep breathing and be curious. I just want to say that I'm going to encourage you later to just set the intention now that later on, everything I just said about Suki, you're going to allow yourself to let in what you didn't let in while I was doing it. I had a reason for what I was doing there, and it was for you. All right? So breathe and be curious. You say she's like a sister and a daughter, but wouldn't it be more true to say I'm viewing her as a sister and a daughter? I don't know if she's like one. Okay. And you felt responsible for her. And sometimes when you were responsible for you and there was no one protecting you, you didn't have all the resources necessary to be as much of a protector to her as you would have wanted to be and as she would have wanted you to be. And either of you might hold grudges against you for that. Either of you might not fully trust the other. Partially as a result of the definition you have of trust, which is probably not exactly in alignment with a level 5 view of trust. Understandably, you reach conclusions, you made decisions, you decided this means that, and this points out that, and this tells me and reveals to me that this is how it is and this is how it'll be. Now, from there, how effective are you going to be at healing your relationship with her? Not worth the shit. You must, if you want to be free, if you want to be happy, and if you ever want to really be a sister to her, you got to do it for you first. So to sit there guilty and confused about what you're doing regarding her, when you gotta put your air mask on, your air thing on before you help someone else. So what if you made peace with the fact that you gotta put on your damn oxygen mask before you help her with hers? What if you said, I will be completely honest with you, Trina, whether it makes sense to you or not, I'm not responsible for. I don't feel safe right now sharing with you where I live. And it may make sense, it may not. Irrelevant to me. I don't feel safe, so I'm not going to. In the story, I ain't got to explain a damn thing. But I will add this. I want to feel safe seeing you and being around you. And I am taking steps now towards it. I'm not just saying this is how I am, bitch, you can't get my address. See, that makes all the difference in the world. Speak your truth with love. I speak my truth with love. With love for me, with love for the person I'm speaking it to, with love for my craziness that I haven't quite healed yet, with love for theirs, with true trust and respect that I'm what I am and she's what she is. And at the level of respect that I can give, at the level of trust that I can give, I speak my truth with love. And right now, my truth with love is I don't feel safe giving you my address. Whether it makes sense to you or not, that's your issue. And I also want you to know from love, I'm also choosing to act on this rather than, I'm not saying, I don't feel safe, so fuck you, go away. I'll never talk to you again. I'm not saying that at all. Now, believe it or not, I'm going to tell another short story, and this will be even shorter. You ready? My oldest son, Brent, is 30. And I love that boy, and he is so convinced he hates me. And up until now, virtually every time we have communicated for the last, I'd say 10 years, it's a matter of minutes before he's voicing his anger and expressing criticism and anger and blame, and then denying it when I say, I'm not going to be spoken to like this, son. I love you. I'm not going to tolerate this from anybody. And yesterday it happened, and I said, here's the deal, buddy. I love you with all my heart. I'm here for you, and I've always been here for you, and I will always be here for you. And if you ever find yourself in a bind or in a tight spot and you absolutely need me, you'll see once again what you've learned 20 or 30 times. I'm the one who's there for you when nobody else is. But until you either absolutely need my help or you handle your temper, don't communicate with me again. I'm your dad. I'm here for you. You find yourself in a bind with no way out, I got your back, period. Every single time, no matter what it is. And I will not be spoken to like this. I don't engage with people who treat me like this. So until you either need me and you have to message me because you're in a total bind, or you handle that anger and learn how to respect, don't communicate with me. Don't waste your time. I'm not going to engage. Okay? Now, I don't know what you call it, but I see that as me totally trusting him. You don't need to earn anything. I totally respect him. He doesn't need to earn my respect at all. I don't need to tangle what's going on with love and respect. It has nothing to do with that. This is me. I speak my truth with love. What if you were overcomplicating this whole situation when the fact is, I just choose presence and speak my truth with love. I choose presence, I speak my truth with love. I choose presence, I speak my truth with love. Doesn't matter what the scene is, doesn't matter who the person is. I choose presence, I speak my truth with love. Something Jen can do later tonight is maybe when she's going to sleep, is lay in bed, bring up dad in her mind. She's 10 years old. Dad says, don't wear that. And she speaks her truth with love. Dad, I love you. I know you're looking out for me. I want to wear this. I'm going to wear it. And you know what? If there is such a thing as too much attention, I'll be vigilantly watching for it just in case. Now, shit gets real simple. If my rules in life are I choose presence and then I speak my truth in love. Suki and Adian read the 4 agreements twice at 9, and he's giving it thumbs up. What if we had read 4 agreements at 9? Suki, you read it once, right? At 13. Liko hasn't even started yet. So sum up the 4 agreements with, I choose presence and I speak my truth with love. V, would that simplify your life? Would that handle the situation with your sister?
Yes, you were very helpful. Thank you. I'll just take care of all these emotions after class.
What
After this
the thing
session.
the thing to do there, you know. I'm with you the whole time. You breathe and you feel the feelings. The thing that I want to help with is just when someone has gone as far with me as you have, and we get on to something like this, my target is really simple. It's to help you decomplicate and get right back to, oh, this is really about me feeling my feelings. Even with all that story, even with all those details, it's still about me feeling my feelings. Because ultimately, if I had not been available today, and you had felt all that stuff and thought all that stuff, you stopped thinking the thinking and you started feeling the feeling, you went totally into the sadness, you would have reached this conclusion, being that it's the truth, underlying everything else and all the complications. Love you, V.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Thank you.
What?
Sid is here.
The money's under the mat outside the front door. If he needs me, I can come out for a minute. What if you start speaking your truth with love? You don't need a course on how to do it. You really don't. I mean, it's great to tell yourself you do. The 473 steps to how to not get too much attention. That would have been fun to buy and go through and feel like a total failure when you never got to the 13th step. The 900,013 principles of speaking your truth with love. No. Step 1, choose presence by breathing and focusing in your body. From there, because speaking from anywhere other than there, it won't be love that you speak. And what you have put out will come reflecting back. But what if I speak my truth with love and they don't like it? Tough shit. Tough shit. That's theirs. Well, Brian, that's not very kind to them. Yes, it is. Oh, you can't be no kinder than to speak your truth with love. If everyone on this planet started right this minute speaking their truth with love, everything would change today. Everything would change today. Fauci would just literally have to just stop talking at all. For a couple of days ago, while he truth. Some of you appreciate that. Some of you probably like, oh, he's being political again. I don't care. They all are, and this might be more so than usual. This is one of those sessions where I would say that for most of us, the majority of what happened on this session went right past us without being noticed. Even if you were like, those of you that are like, okay, I don't know what just happened. Was that a good session or not? I don't even know what just happened. And others of you are like, oh my God, what just happened? All of us, I'm telling you, the majority of what happened on the session actually went right past us. And it will be seen and detected more on future viewings, especially if you choose to be present and breathe before you watch and while you're watching. So I feel like that's enough for today. Love you. You're perfect. Jen and V, I'd love to hear from you if you want to. I'd love to hear from you tomorrow and let me know what's different in your world when you wake up.
Love everybody. Bye. Bye. Over us. She see, they hear.